Hey, everybody. Welcome Monday. Flawed Man here. It's going to be a quick stream tonight. Really not going to get into a whole lot other than an outlook of what this week is going to look like and probably somewhat of the schedule going forward. So, schedule's getting ready to be a little bit busy. I got an email this weekend that our first practice for softball, for church softball, was going to be tonight. And so I didn't have much of a chance to give anybody a heads up. I'm not as sophisticated with the streaming setup as I would like to be. So I was not able to tell everybody, hey, I'm probably not going to stream tonight. So I figured, hey, if you tune in, we'll talk about what's going to be happening for this week because we did have a couple of changes. So what I am going to do is Tuesday through Thursday, I should definitely be streaming every week. Mondays are going to be a no go for the duration of the spring and most of the summer because I'll be playing church softball on Monday nights, and that is where I get a lot of my fellowship with my fellow men and some exercise, which is great. So Mondays will be off, and then Friday nights will be kind of a toss up because my son has soccer practice on Friday evenings. For some reason, it's going to be a little bit later, so we'll be playing it by ear to see whether I do one or not. But again, Tuesdays through Friday through Thursdays, still solid. Still going to be doing stuff with Eric every other Tuesday. He'll be on tomorrow night. Eric Roland will be discussing things that pastors say on the pulpit that they shouldn't be sometimes, and not just them, but influencers. And what I've done is I've reached out to the gentleman at Woke Preacher Clips TV on Twitter to tell him that I was stealing a lot of his content for this for this segment, and he said it was fine. He was happy to see that happen, so that's good to know. Also, Wednesday, I'm going to have a gentleman known as Joel Chaco on, and he is going to talk about some of the Catholic perspective on things. He was recommended. I know Joel. I've known Joel for a few years. He was recommended by my friend Raf, who's been on here a couple of times from the Rafter. He said that he would be a good resource for getting on here and talking about the Catholic faith, kind of going in depth in some of the current events and some of the outlooks that they have and the struggles that they're dealing with. Raf just can't get. He's got so much going on right now. He just can't get on here. So we're going to bring Joel on. Joel knows his business when it comes to streaming, so I promise you he'll be a good guest. What we're going to talk about Wednesday is there was an announcement that went out from the Pope that he was going to quote unquote consecrate Russia and the Ukraine. And so the first thing that a Protestant like me says is, what in the world does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to me. I don't understand it. So I reached out because Raph sent me a note on it, and I said, "Okay, what does this mean?" And he tried to explain it to me. I'm like, I'm just not Catholic enough for this, so I'm going to need to get somebody on here who can dumb it down for me and tell me what it is. So I had a long conversation with Joel, very productive. He's excited to come on, and he's going to give us the breakdown on what it is. Now, he said one of the things they were saying was, if it's done correctly, this is a game changer for the Catholic faith and the world at large. However, I think I got some news from him today that the Pope was managed to grab defeat out of the jaws of victory. So he was not too pleased about that. So we'll talk about what could have been and why it was so important to the Catholic Church that this was being discussed, and we will also talk about the failure and what that means and why it was kind of expected. So that'll be Wednesday. Thursday, we'll get back into numbers. We'll be talking about picking up where we left off with chapter 24. So we'll be starting with chapter 25. And then Friday, if I'm streaming, we will do so and continue on with numbers from there. Joel is somebody I would like to bring on as a repeat guest. Like I said, he has a lot to say, and he has a good delivery on things. So that's what we were going to do. And again, softball, and I can give my shout out now. Some of the guys will be watching this. The softball team is an awesome group of guys. Now, church softball has different meanings to different people. Some people go out and they just want to play because they peaked in high school, and this is them reliving the dream, so to speak. And some folks go out there because They just want to have fun. Some people go out there and they're super competitive. Some people just like the fellowship. My team, and I say my team, the team from my church has always been from 2015 when I joined that, when I started coming out. And I hadn't played base, I hadn't swung a bat since T-ball, except for one batting cage session, which went really bad. I'm not going to talk about it any more than that. But they invited me to come out. I told them, like, look, I haven't swung a bat since T-ball. And they said, no, come around. And then, you know what? I did pretty good. I did pretty good. Played all right enough that, and I had fun because the guys that I played with made it fun. And that's the thing. The community is what matters so much in who we are as a congregation. There's the two things: love God, love each other, and I guess three things: love God, love each other, be in the Word, obey what God tells us to do. That's how you show that you love Him. But in that church league, I've ended up becoming the coach of it, and so I get to organize it every year. And look, put the text group together. Some of my guys immediately put it on mute because they don't want the string of text messages. And some of us, it's just all day texting back and forth about how excited we are and making jokes, because that's the thing that I love about my crew, the crew of guys that are with me. We clown each other relentlessly, and we do it in good fun. We just go out there to have a good time. And hey, if we win, that's awesome. If our teammates do great, awesome. If we do great, excellent. If we suck, who cares? Who cares? Because we're all hanging out together. We're all hanging out together and just giving all glory to God. So with that said, Mondays are off limits for streaming, and Fridays are going to be a toss up. Tuesdays are going to stay with Eric. We're going to bring Joel on a little bit more, hopefully, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, guys, I'm going to relax. It's been a bit of a practice. It's a bit of a practice, so I'm going to let you guys go. But tune in, like and subscribe. I love to get the feedback I've been getting. Fig Newton contributing in the chat. Victory, I like some of the comments you left, and it made a short stream into a long stream, and that's not a bad thing at all. That's something I want. I want people interacting, whether you agree with me or not. Give me your thoughts. Give me your feedback. That's what this is all about. In the meantime, folks, take care. Have a good evening. Have a great week. God bless, and good night.